Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys at Magic. This is Hunter and Shane. Say what's up, Shane.
What's up, nerds?
We're back at it again. He's got his $300 upgrade to the Obscura Operation Precon Commander deck from Streets of New Capenna. About time you got this going, huh?
Wow. Throwing shade immediately, dude. Sick.
No, but we're taking that $300. We're upgrading the deck, making it even better than the $100 upgrade. But first and foremost, Shane, take us through about what the face commander or what commander you've chosen, what it does.
What it does, dude? Well, I'll tell you what it does. A lot of mean things. We're going to be using Kamiz, Obscura Oculus, once again. It's the 4 mana, 2/4 creature that basically when you attack with a creature, you can give one of your creatures unblockable. And then the next, you can pick another creature with lesser power, give a double strike. So in the original 100 list, we decided that we were going to take that idea and make it into like a super irritating, mean infect deck. And we're going to capitalize and make it even more mean and annoying.
Yeah, making your infect creatures unblockable and have a double strike. That sounds absolutely insane, and I really don't want to play it.
Yeah, let me tell you, in between these two videos, I played against a couple people, actually. I think you weren't there, but with David and Steven, I played the $100 list, and it was, in fact, pretty mean.
Did it do work or what?
Yeah, well, Steven was playing a jacked up deck too, but yeah, I was infecting, and I was wishing that I was playing with this new upgraded deck.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play against it one day.
Oh,
But
you will.
let's talk about the additions to this deck itself. What do we got?
Yeah. Well, before I wanted to jump into the $300 list or the $300 upgrade, but just to briefly talk about, the idea and the theme of the deck. In the $100 list, I went through and added pretty much every usual suspect for the infect because this deck came with 0 infect, unfortunately. So we had to add the infect package. So we're gonna throw up all the infectors, but it's basically everyone you can think of is gonna be in this deck so far, at least the cheaper ones. And I added all like the infect package. We added some proliferators because proliferator is kind of like the secondary theme of this deck because you want to get some infect counters on people, then start just proliferating them up and making them upset. So if you want to know why I added these cards, you know what? Go back and watch the video. But for now, I'm gonna jump into the new cards and why I want to add these in here because these are super mean, and I think you guys are gonna like playing with these cards.
Your
So
100 upgrade was very good, so I'm
I
excited to
liked it.
see what you do with your 300. So let's dive right in, dude. What do we got?
Well, I'll just get it out of there. There's I gotta talk about the elephant in the room. In the 100, I did not include the Blightsteel Colossus because it's like $80. But now that we have
Yo,
more of a budget, we gotta add Blightsteel Colossus. It's a
yeah,
12 mana artifact creature golem with trample, infect, and indestructible. And it's an 11/11. I forgot to mention that. And it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere. Uh, reveal Blightsteel Colossus and shuffle it into your library, basically, and it never goes away.
yeah. Having indestructible, and then if it ever is destroyed, just having it go back in your deck. This
Yeah.
is the big daddy of infect, and for good reason is expensive. Who knows? Maybe
So
we'll get a reprint someday soon.
I don't feel like they would. I don't know. For some reason, I don't think they like the infect so much.
We'll see. Maybe double masters.
Maybe.
That'd be big.
All right. Well, I guess just keeping on the train of expensive cards that do crazy things. I also added Elish Norn, and Elish Norn is 5 and a white for a 4/7. And I'm sure everyone's heard of Elish Norn, but it's got vigilance, and other creatures you control get +2/+2, and creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. So when you're running infect, buddy, your infectors are getting a little bigger.
Yeah, and as someone that is just talked about the Cabaretti deck and making a whole bunch of tokens, that hurts.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad token hater. Another one that I really wanted to add from the 100, but couldn't fit it in, was Yawgmoth Thrain Physician. It's 2 and a black for a 2/4 human cleric. It's got protection from humans. That could be relevant. You could pay a life, sacrifice another creature, put a -1/-1 counter on up to one target creature, and draw a card. And then you could do black, discard a card, proliferate. So it does so much stuff that you want to be doing right now.
Yeah, it fits. It has to go in this deck.
Yeah. You get to put some. I mean, they're not infect counters that you put on creatures, but they're -1/-1. That's kind of like what infect is on a creature at least. And then you can proliferate the creature or whatever you did the -1/-1 on. Kill that. Also proliferate the person with infect. Like it, this card does so much. And then lastly, for the primo big boy money cards that I wanted to add in here, I had to throw in Sword of Truth and Justice. It's 3 mana for a artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from white and blue. And whenever a equipped creature does combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control, then proliferate. It's got equipment cost of 2. So when your things are unblockable, you're going to be dealing combat damage. You're going to be getting 1/1s on creatures, and you're going to be proliferating. Again, it just does everything you want to do.
Yeah. Not only could it be unblockable, but if you're playing against someone that's blue and white,
And it's
just
super
a
unblockable.
pseudo unblockable.
Yeah. Yep. So those 4 were going to be like kind of the bulk of our $300 price, because I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are aware that infect creatures are typically, besides, Blightsteel, infect creatures are not that expensive. Everything else is like pennies on the dollar. Kind of ridiculous.
All right.
But
So
yeah,
those are the big boys.
those are the big boys, but I still got a couple more very relevant cards that, they could have easily went in the 100. The money wasn't the problem. It was just kind of, I just wanted to, not have to get rid of so many cards all at once, if that makes any sense. So now that
Yeah.
we're in a new upgrade, boom, I can make room for some more big boys, big fun boys, I guess you can call them.
Big
So
fun boys.
yeah. All right. This next is a enchantment I wanted to add in. Relic Putrescence. It's 2 and a black for an aura. Enchant artifact. Whenever enchanted artifact becomes tapped, its controller gains a poison counter. So hey, that turn 1 Soul Ring, maybe they don't want to tap it anymore.
That's so mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome. That's like, hey, it's not a super expensive upgrade, but I would have loved to put them in the 100, but now it's in the 300. This next one is Contentious Plan. It's 1 and a blue for a sorcery that just says proliferate and draw a card. So for 2 mana, you're going to proliferate, you're going to draw, you're going to cantrip it. It seemed really solid. Another one we got going on is Spread the Sickness for 4 and a black for a sorcery card. Destroy target creature, then proliferate. So, I mean, 5 mana for a destroy effect can be a bit much, but we're playing Commander, which is not too bad for 5 mana. And it proliferates, so it's like, you know what? I get to proliferate and kill something. That's good enough for me. Another one we got going on is Fuel for the Cause. It is 2 and a blue for an instant. Counter target spell, then proliferate. I kind of noticed in the 100 list that I don't really think I had any counter spells, which is not like me. So I was like, all right, we need to put a counter spell, and we got to make it do something else too. And that's proliferating is real good for our deck right now.
It is fuel for your cause.
It is. Another one we got going on is Grim Affliction. That is 2 and a black for an instant. Put a -1/-1 counter on target creature, then proliferate. We got a theme going, man. We're doing something kind of mean, and we're proliferating.
Slowly killing your opponents. One
Yep.
trigger at a time.
Yep. And you know what? We'll take every single one of those triggers. And speaking of, we also got Steady Progress, which is 2 and a blue. It's an instant. It just says proliferate, draw a card. So it's basically like the other one we had. It costs 1 more for some reason. Whatever.
It's an instant.
It's an instant. So maybe that's why it costs 1 more. It makes sense, sure. But again, we're proliferating. We're drawing cards. It's going to make this deck hum. I did notice that in the 100 list when I played it, it did kind of lack card draw. you kind of dump your hand because everything's kind of cheap, and then you're kind of just like, all right, cool, I'm in top deck mode now. So all the card draw you can get would be nice.
Yeah, I got that.
Yep.
So those are really good cards.
Yeah, man.
But are you doing anything to the land? Your
I
mana base?
really didn't want to, right? But then after playing the 100, I did kind of the land was a bit of a struggle for me, and so I just wanted to make it a little easier to get certain colors that I needed, I guess. So we're gonna change 3 of the land out, and we're gonna be adding Vault of Champions, Henge Pathway, and Clearwater Pathway. So we're adding 2 of the pathways that tap for a white and a blue and a blue and a black, and then we're gonna add the Bond land that, as long as you have 2 or more opponents, it'll tap for a white or a black. So I just wanted to throw that in there, smooth out the mana curve a little bit.
Yeah, very good lands to add.
Yep. Yes,
All right.
sir.
So those are some mean additions, and I do not look forward to playing the deck.
I mean, I'll
However,
play it. Don't worry, dude.
yeah, you know you will. However, you are going to need to make room for all of these additions. So, what have you taken out of this deck?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the part that I don't like doing, is just taking out the cards that don't quite fit the theme of the deck, and there was no easy way to do it. But anything that didn't really mesh well with the whole infect theme, I had to try to get them out of there, man. Right. So the first thing we're going to have to talk about is the cuts that I got rid of in the $100 list, because my $300 list is going to be mashing those together. I will have Hunter, and we'll help him, obviously. Throw up some of the cuts and on the screen right now. If you want to see my in-depth description of why I cut all of them, I'll sum it up for you. Right? And I'm just kidding. They're basically cards that just didn't match the theme, right? They didn't really either do infect, which none of them did, or they just didn't really seem all that strong, or the cards that I am adding are much stronger. So check the screen out now. Click on the link. Watch the $100 list, and then from there, I will dive into the new cuts now.
What do we got?
What do we got? Well, the first thing we got going on, Elena, Artful Provocateur. She's a really cool card, but she just doesn't fit the theme. She's 1, a white, a blue, a black, a fairy warlock, 2/3. She got flying, death touch, lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. And whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy with flying. And that's cool and all. We didn't really have too many artifacts or enchantments for that matter. So we're really not going to be taking advantage of that text. We do have a couple infectors that have flying, so that was kind of relevant. But I don't know. Overall, it didn't really fit, so I had to get it out of there. Another one is Daxos of Melitis. I think I'm saying
Melitis?
that right. Melitis, sure. It is 1, a white, a blue, for a 2/2 human soldier. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. And whenever this card deals combat damage to a player, exile a top card of that player's library. You gain life equal to that card's mana value. Until end of turn, you may cast that card, and you may spend mana as if it was of any color. So, again, didn't really do anything for me, I'm gonna say that over and over again. Another one we got going on, or we got going out, I guess. Graveblade Marauder, 2 and a black for a 1/4 with Death Touch. Whenever this card deals combat damage to a player, the player loses life equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So I guess that'd be cool if I was milling myself. I don't know. It has Death
Yeah,
Touch.
that doesn't really seem to fit.
Nah. And then Infect. If Infect and Death Touch were switched, maybe sure, but no. Another one we got going out of here is Misfortune Teller, 3 and a black for a 3/1 Death Touch. Whenever Misfortune Teller enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, create a 2/2. Rogue creature token. If it was a land, create a treasure. Otherwise, gain 3. Cool. A whole different theme going on there, Not infect. Another big boy we got coming out. Rexiel, the Risen Deep. That's 3, a blue, and a black for a 5/8 Kraken. It's got Island and Swamp Walk. Pretty crazy. And whenever this guy deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard without paying mana. And if the spell would be put into a graveyard this turn, exile it. So that's a pretty cool effect. And if you're getting it unblockable, I can see why this card was in the Precon. I just doesn't have infect, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, 6 mana too. A little
Yeah.
expensive.
I mean, that being said, Blightsteel's 12, but hey, I didn't say anything. Never mind. All right. Some more cards we got coming out. We got Jailbreak, 1 and a white for a sorcery. Return target permanent card in an opponent's graveyard to the battlefield. Under their control, of course. When the permanent enters the battlefield, return up to 1 target permanent card with equal or lesser mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield. I don't really want to give my opponent something. Call me crazy.
Yeah, you've killed something. It's in the graveyard for a reason. Why would you give it back?
I'm gonna give it back and then get something smaller back on it. Nah, it's out. Sorry, bud. Another artifact we got coming out. Currency Converter for 1 colorless. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. I can pay 2, tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. You can also tap it, put put a card exiled with Currency Converter into your graveyard. If it's a land card, create a token. If it's a non-land card, create a rogue. Blah blah blah. Same thing again. I don't think we need it, dude. Another artifact that I wanted to cut out of here. We got a couple more artifacts we got to cut. I'm gonna cut Mask of the Schemer. It's 2 and a blue for an artifact equipment. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, it connives X, where X is the amount of damage that's dealt to the player. Now that one seems pretty good, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna infect them and kill them. But I don't know. That was a hard one to cut, I guess. But speaking of artifact equipments, Mask of Riddles also had to come out, which is a blue and a black for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has fear. So I guess that means it can't be blocked except for by artifact creatures or black creatures. And whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So that was, that is a good card draw actually, but I had to make room for my proliferators and my infectors. And then the last instant we had to get out of here / sorcery was Commit to Memory. The commit part is 3 and a blue for an instant that just says put target spell or non-land permanent into its owner's library second from the top. And the memory is 4 and a blue for the aftermath cost. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, then draws 7 new cards. Seems good, just in a different deck. I don't know. Not this deck.
We're not committing that to memory.
I'm gonna forget that.
And
then obviously,
how did we switch your lands out?
I just wanted to get rid of the thriving lands. Some people might like these. I'm not the biggest fan. For one, I know I don't like remembering what other color I picked. I don't have any cool like dice tokens, whatever to use. So the thriving lands are the ones that enter the battlefield tapped. And when they enter the battlefield, you pick a color other than the color that they already tapped for. And then you can tap it for that color or another. So they're practically like what I added, except for the ones I added don't come in tapped, So they're just better.
Yeah,
Or the
these
ones
are
I
just
added are
really
better.
slow.
They are. They're slow and you have to like remember and shit. I don't remember very well, so
You don't have the best memory, huh?
I don't. I didn't commit it.
All right. That's all of that's your whole list, yeah?
That's the whole list, man. Like I mean, got like the main meat and potatoes of the infect deck obviously came from the 100 list, so please go and look at that. But also, we have the Mox field in the description, so you'll see the full list there.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't hesitate to comment down below either, letting us know what you think of Shane's $300 upgrade. I think it is an extremely mean use of your commander.
Yeah, man. All my infectors. I mean, I briefly talked about this in the 100 list, but the main idea here is, you get an infector that has like a 2 or 3 power. make that one the unblockable one. Have another infector with like 1. Give that one double strike. You're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good time, man.
And you've made it so they die in 2 turns. That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty mean. So if your play group allows you to play infect, have at this. But I can understand why they wouldn't want you to play it.
So if you wanted to see Shane's full deck list, don't forget to look down in the description below where we post the entire Moxfield link. A lot of cool things in there. So go and build this deck and ruin your friends. Don't forget to like the video if you guys liked this. Subscribe to the channel for more content. We will be doing more upgrades in the future. So stay tuned for all of those videos. Follow us on our Instagram and our Twitter. That is @GuysMagic to stay up to date with everything that we're doing. And as always, we will see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace.
Later.